Imagine, you've bought a country house. You gathered the whole family to watch your favorite movie, prepared dinner, and suddenly the lights go out. Yeah, it's frustrating. Indeed, you've invested so much time, emotions, and money into setting up your country house. And now you're unable to enjoy living there. What if your house had its own power bank that could detect power outages and seamlessly switch to its own power source within a second? You could keep enjoying your favorite movie, having dinner, and cooking without any worries. Today, we're visiting Ilya, a businessman who often works remotely and requires sustainable internet connection. And I will also tell you how the Volt energy storage helped to keep the country house running smoothly. Ilya, could you please tell us how much power your house consumes? I have not one house but two houses. The main residential one and the guest house, which also serves as a sauna. The combined power of both houses, for which the Volt system is designed, totals 15 kilowatts. Could you explain why you installed the energy storage system and if it helped to solve your issue? Well, the goal was to address the issue of inconsistent and unreliable power supply in our cottage settlement. We frequently experience short-term power outages. I've installed an additional backup gas generator. However, there was still a temporary gap when the generator took time to start up, resulting in a lack of electricity throughout the house. Well, that inconvenience prompted us to explore alternative solutions, and we came across this energy storage system, and we decided to install it to determine the essential minimum power for power-consuming devices that would be connected to the system. For example, currently we have approximately 5 kilowatts connected to the system. The Volt system addresses the issue of power continuity and, in the event of a power outage, provides uninterrupted power supply for over 40 minutes or an hour, depending on the battery capacity and charge. After that, the system automatically switches to the backup gas generator, then the generator takes over the entire power supply system, ensuring the energy consumption of the entire house, and recharging the energy storage system. Ilya, could you tell us in detail about your electrical appliances and which ones you consider vital? There are not many people living in our house. It's just my wife, our dogs, and me. Since we live in this house permanently throughout the year, it's not a summer house. We believe stability is crucial for us. We have a complete home energy supply system. As a result, our main appliance is a water preparation system that filters and supplies water to both houses. We obviously have the basic power sockets in the kitchen to have the ability to make tea or, in general, use them for other purposes as well. We have internet access, lighting, and surely some other appliances such as the refrigerator that you would not want to turn off constantly. The overall power consumption is up to 5 kilowatts. And how long does the power storage remain active when the electricity goes off? Well, we have everything planned out. And that's why, as an engineer, I also insisted on an engineering approach from your company. Therefore, we calculated the duration to ensure that the Volt system remains active for at least 40 to 50 minutes. After that, the power supply system would automatically switch to the gas generator as a backup power source. In this way, an uninterrupted power supply is ensured. My primary purpose for the Volt system was to ensure an uninterrupted power supply. Over the course of the year, we haven't had any situations where we needed to use the generator or experienced any power outages. Well, that is because there were only short-term power outages and the Volt system ensured uninterrupted power supply. Well, in terms of electricity, every house, every plot of land requires electricity supply, as the power supply is necessary nowadays. Here in our countryside, there are certain difficulties associated with the fact that, despite being a cottage settlement, it's still a rural area supplied by rural electrical grids. So sometimes we face significant challenges, especially during winter. When many people come here to spend their holidays, such as the New Year, this always causes significant brownouts. Indeed, there are fluctuations and, in some cases, complete power outages. We purchased the Volt system precisely for this purpose. to ensure seamless power supply. However, I should note that during the year of utilization, we did not even have running hours on the gas generator. Does the voltage fluctuate? I assume it decreases during the winter period when there are many consumers. Well, we have three-phase electric power, and it's possible to experience periods where one phase has lower voltage, around 170-180 volts, while the other phases remain within a normal range. It's indeed related to the fact that not every household properly distributes their energy consumption across the phases. The issue arises from a lack of knowledge or awareness and a lack of control over the electrical system. This is exactly why we installed the volt system, to mitigate such risks, and our system has been successful in effectively addressing these challenges. Ilya, please inform us about the location of the power storage system and whether the installation was difficult or time-consuming. We had a separate space where we installed the system, and by the way, we're going there now. It's a technical room that is specifically designed for this purpose, so the installation was straightforward. Colleagues entered the house. By the way, here are the columns on the right side, and installed all the necessary components, so the installation was completed quickly. The team finished their job within one day. Ilya, have you ever had to upgrade the power supply system? No, Andrew, there were no difficulties, so let me show you everything. Well, Andrew, here's where we installed our volt system. As I mentioned before, it's a technical room. All the design features provided by the company were fully implemented here. However, perhaps there was no necessity for the aesthetics, but nevertheless it looks impressive. We didn't have any need to upgrade anything because this is a technical room. There are various systems located below us. These include water processing systems, water storage systems, and so on. And that's why it fits in so well here. We just needed to make a small hole in the wall to bring the power supply connection to the outside column. In terms of usage, to be honest, I sometimes forget how to use it. When your service engineer comes, I ask again and try to remember what I need to do. Generally, everything is pretty straightforward. There is no particular need for me to take any action from my side. The main control panel is here if there is a need to reboot something. However, it happens very rarely. Moreover, your specialists provide comprehensive remote support whenever needed. Even when I encountered issues in data transmission, it was your specialists who informed me about it rather than the other way around. Therefore, everything was fixed remotely, and thank God everything is working. If there is a power outage at your end, what happens? Nothing. That's the whole point. When the power outage happens, the volt system ensures power supply to essential primary power-consuming devices. And when the battery charge level, there's an indicator here, when it drops below 30%, the gas generator automatically kicks in, and the volt system switches to charging mode. The house is already supplied with three-phase power. When the generator is turned off and there is still an energy demand, the volt system continues to supply power. This ensures an uninterrupted power supply. Is there any manual intervention required, or is everything automated? No, everything operates in automatic mode. Therefore, I only monitor and ensure everything is correct. Well, in this case, I use an application through which I can see the system has discharged and the generator has automatically kicked in and started working. Therefore, even when I'm not at home, and my wife is not at home too, everything operates in automatic mode. And we can simply monitor it. That's great. Automation is everything. Well, yes, that's good to have it, but it's better to keep in mind that we have hands and minds. Definitely. Ilya, could you tell us how long you have been using the Volt system and what impression you have? We've been using the system for over a year, and we're delighted with it because it's inconspicuous, lives its own life, and copes with all the assigned tasks. We utilize the application. Well, at the beginning we used it more, even just simply to see what was happening. However, now we use it less frequently. We only check the system when we receive a notification about power outage, a loss of primary power supply. In fact, I only verify how the system has connected and if everything is functioning correctly. For me, diagrams are really important. They demonstrate what happened in the past day, when power outages occurred, and in essence when the system kicked in. Plus it shows the current charge level, you can see that everything works stably, and receive the accurate data. That's amazing. Generally for me, minimalist interactive features are sufficient and satisfying. It would be more difficult if there were more settings available. Well, in my case, I simply observe the process without interference. Additionally, I'm satisfied with the Volt system because it is of Russian origin and production. I would prefer not to be dependent, especially considering the current circumstances. I don't want to depend on imported components, at least for the crucial components. So I'm absolutely satisfied with the system. Ilya, would you recommend Volts to someone? For people who are interested, I would recommend this system for use in a standalone or independent mode, or even in a combination with a backup generator, as I have implemented it. And then they will experience uninterrupted power supply in case of power outages. They simply will not notice it. From an operational standpoint, it will not be noticeable either. It will surely be very comfortable.